This is American Dumpster Fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to American Dumpster Fire. This is Loki,
This is Tyr.
And Odin.
and Trump's been in office a very, very long 1,093 days as of the time we're recording this.
Wow.
The longest 1,093 days of my fucking life.
God,
Of existence in general, I
Yeah.
think.
if only the time traveler could answer,
I-
when is this going to end?
I'm feeling immortal.
Why
Only
didn't he answer
in a
that?
bad way.
And that, I think, is the biggest proof against him.
Well,
So, yeah.
nor would he speak about flooding from, melting ice caps. He would only talk about his food pellets.
So tell us of this immortal,
Well,
or it's just time traveler.
there's
Is-
some blurred out kid in my news feed
So wait, but he's a time traveler.
from the year 2075.
I see. And
Because
how?
technology will be revealed when aliens show up and integrate into our society in 2028.
I see.
But most of the article was just about his little food pellets. That you
Why
know,
didn't this little prick stop Hitler?
I don't know.
Yeah, fuck him. So
Probably because, if it wasn't for an example like Hitler, then we would just be bound to have another, cult of personality.
no. If it wasn't for an example like Hitler, Trump wouldn't have had somebody to model himself after.
Okay, you totally just missed the sarcasm I was setting up. Okay, because nobody listens to history.
Yeah, it's supposed to help stop us from repeating it, right? So
And other things that won't actually happen. Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed.
I know. Why don't you? At this point, it's being delayed till September, right?
know.
Wait, what?
Why not? Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes,
It's a
just-
video game,
Oh.
long anticipated video game.
The video game.
Yeah, the only reason to keep living, and
So far, yes.
yeah, in this Trump infested.
Just delayed to the PS5. I don't even want it on
I know. That's what I'm
PS4.
saying.
What's going to be out for
Why
a
are you
month?
even bothering now? Just put it on PS5. Don't even bother with PS4 anymore. Just put it on PS5.
Yeah, because it's coming out November 17th, and this, what is it, like, I think they said like the third week of November or the first week of December, the PS5 is going to be out.
Yeah. So you might as well just wait. Put it on that system.
Yeah, forget the cross
I'm
platform.
sure they're gonna. Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna put it on both. Or
Well, that's the idea, yeah.
They want it backwards compatible or something like that. But
I'd rather to have the full graphic, whatever. I want to get all the processing. I want all that joy in the new system on it.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're saving up. Hopefully, we'll be able to afford PS5 in time for it to come out. We will unlikely be able to afford a game as well. but
Yes, to finance it, but
yeah, we'll have to put the game on card. So, but okay. Well, in the world of technology, did you hear new data shows that solar energy creates more jobs in America than any other industry?
I did see that. Yes.
So, and meanwhile,
I feel like everybody's been saying that that's where the jobs are.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
For
it's gonna
ever
be green
now.
energy. That's
It's
the thing.
manufacturing. It's
unless you're
installation.
paid
It's
by an
maintenance.
oil industry, everybody's been saying that.
Right, or coal, which is even worse. And now there's a state saying that now
Monitoring.
coal mines are going to have to ask permission from the Trump administration to shut down.
What?
Yeah, I forgot what state it was. It was Wisconsin or something. I don't
What
know.
do they do when there's nobody in it?
Like, what do you mean I have to ask permission to shut down? It's because they don't want them to look bad now that they've backed this whole idea that coal is an industry worth keeping alive when it just isn't, So
How is that? I don't get it.
this is the state legislature. I don't remember which state it was. It might be in the list of information I saw.
I mean,
but-
come on.
For everybody who's constantly fighting that the government should be smaller
I know.
and have less
Well,
interference and blah blah blah.
Republicans aren't actually small government. That's
when
not
they're
true.
not allowed
well, I
to
know it's
use
not.
climate change or rising floodwaters or anything in reference to, Florida when it comes to like the Army Corps of Engineers or the EPA or any governmental body that might actually have something to do with protecting people or rising waters or reinforcing the banks. When they make words like that illegal, this is no surprise at all to me.
Right, yeah.
That they're going to say that, well, you can't shut that down.
Right. Yeah, you can't make us look bad for lying to you, bold-faced. What? And we're saying, okay, Did you hear about the lie, the ridiculous lie he told about the fucking weather? First snow of the season, it's 60, you dumbass.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, I think they said 52, but still, I mean, like,
Why? I know. Why? Why?
the whole article I read, it never had an explanation or even a suggestion
I don't think
other
it needs
than
a reason to lie.
like maybe someone brought up climate change.
I
Like
think
nobody knows what that was even about.
yeah, I
It was
think
out of nowhere.
It's just pathological at this point, isn't it?
Who was he talking to?
It was a tweet. First snow of the year. No, no, it's not. People live in Washington, D.C. They can look out their fucking windows and see you're lying.
And that's a lot of the news items I've been reading is a whole lot of like there's no controversy, nothing to discuss. This is just the world we're
Because
in.
That's just how he is. He
Yeah,
lies
we're at a
lot.
point where him being a lying ass isn't even controversial.
It's just
who he
Tuesday.
is. Yeah.
It's just Tuesday.
And the people who support him are going to support him no matter what. He can shit on their porch, and they will still support him.
Okay, so I was watching the
Agreed.
debates, and at some point somebody was talking about the 11,000 lies that Trump has told or whatever. I'm
Oh,
like,
it's more than that. It's like
I don't-
15,000
Well,
now.
that's what I'm saying. It's like PolitiFact or whoever who's supposed to keep track of that. I'm like, are they? Because let me give you a quick explanation. Okay, I'm married. I have in-laws, fairly religious, conservative parents, and when they come over, and I have cable and some streaming services, I'm at a loss of the thousands upon thousands of options. What do I put on TV for them? Because as soon as I actually think about it, nearly everything is universally offensive. Almost everything. And it's like, I forget that it's offensive because I'm an adult. And as an adult, I'm not offended.
Right.
But other people are. And I'm not trying to belittle them or whatever. But my point is that I lose perspective. And when it comes to Trump, is it possible to even remember to pay attention to the fact that nearly everything he's saying is a lie when you've heard it so many times?
They're not listening to him.
Like, how do you count it?
The-
How do you pay attention?
No. The average Trump supporter doesn't listen to Trump. They listen to Fox's filter of Trump.
Right. But I'm talking about the people who are
And in-
actually,
and-
computating his lies. How do they manage to stay on task? Is it
Oh,
Adderall?
I think so.
What's the magic drug?
So it's the way how they say, what is it? Facebook's like they have these people that look through all the awful content on Facebook.
Right. Don't
and-
they forget to eventually see
and
violence?
It's not just that they have to cycle them a lot because it starts causing psychological breakdown and stuff like that. And I think this is
Everything
the same
looks
thing.
like a penis eventually.
Right, so I think that it's the same thing of the people who count Trump's lies. Is eventually you just get so jaded to it. They're like, all right, you got to go before you kill yourself, and we'll bring another guy in, a new person. We're gonna
That's what I'm saying.
pay to
Like, how is that done? I need the inside track.
yeah.
How,
It's got to be
I
like
need a
team.
documentary on them.
There's got to be a team of people looking there, and it's just like, all right. And he lies so fast and so frequently. There's no way one person is doing this. There's got to be.
Honestly, yeah, I think that it's a full-time job for a team of people if they're seriously tracking that.
There's
I
so
don't know
many.
how to
And
do.
then
I'd forget
they
to pay
can't-
attention.
They can't possibly be getting them all.
He's
Exactly.
yeah. I mean, I can't fathom.
And are we counting the times that things are coming out of his mouth, but they make no coherent sense? Does
If he
that count
says-
as true?
Yeah, I know the word salad.
Right.
If he
Yeah.
says the same lie 3 times in a row, is it 3 separate lies? I don't know how it works. I really don't.
Even his lies are inconsistent, though. I mean, he'll contradict himself in one speech, and I'm like, and neither one of them's the truth.
But, his followers truly don't care.
Most of them are pathological liars, alcoholics, drug addicts, the mentally ill. So
I think that they just follow the pauses, and that's when they cheer. They're not actually
Oh,
listening.
no, there's a
You mean like
Plus
hype
signs.
men, whatever was said last?
yeah, I would be surprised if Fox doesn't eventually even put a little applause sign at the top of the screen or something.
I've seen Trump going after Fox a few times recently.
Lock her up.
They're not kissing his ass enough or something.
Actually, I heard that he's proposing a new media company that is
He is. He wants a pro-Trump news channel to compete with Fox.
right.
You
so
mean state media?
yeah. Although the funny thing is, he keeps accusing CNN of being state media, but if they're state media, they just parrot him all the time.
Right. Isn't he the one running everything?
Right. So it's like,
I mean, you got the Senate, you got the presidency.
Right.
You basically have utterly staffed the Supreme Court.
Yeah. You run most of the government. You are the one determining state media, which currently is Fox.
You've appointed people. There's cronies everywhere. I mean, you've fired people left and right. I mean, this is your government. There's no way of denying this isn't all completely his government.
I've never seen this much corruption in my life.
I've never seen anybody do this. Like, I just.
Yeah, who knew it was possible?
You didn't think these things were possible.
No.
I thought there were rules.
Yeah, you thought there were rules.
Or laws. Like, a lot of them were like just suggestions or guidelines. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then
like,
we have laws, but nobody
this,
enforces
like,
them?
This
Well, there's no punishments for 'em.
Yeah, this concept that our president that came in would have some minor sense of decency. And we have proven that to be not the case.
Wait. You don't have to show your taxes?
Well,
Really?
And just he took it and ran with it. And we're all just kind of left a little awestruck by how much damage someone can cause in such a short period of time.
with the rate he throws people under the bus, though, like, how do you keep people who keep backing you?
I
like,
know.
he throws so many people under the bus. It's like you realize the people
Why are
propping
you-
him up at any given point are going to be thrown under the bus.
I
And it's
agree.
like,
Why are you hitching your wagon to this?
I know.
Because they're lining their pocket the entire time until they get thrown under the bus.
And then they, but that's the thing. So some of these people are ending up in jail, so it's like,
well, you're hoping to get out just in time.
I mean,
It's
God,
like,
I hope Mitch
it's the worst stock market
McConnell
ever.
and Bill Barr and stuff like that, those guys end up, the bus rolls over them.
If they go down, there's no way they're getting out of the way. There's no way. They are so
Oh, they're
involved.
screwed.
Like immersed, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was an MSNBC interview. I didn't watch it. What was the guy's name?
Okay, you're talking about the Russian figure who with the hairline just above his eyebrows?
I'm not sure. If you told me his name, I'd.
God. I just read a thing on him, too.
So I lost the article.
But anyway, he was talking about like how he's never been seen with them, and he goes, "I will show you pictures," and then releases a video.
Yeah, well, he even said in the interview, I guess he said every time that, or it might not have been in the interview, but he did say that every time Trump denies knowing him, he was going to release a picture. But yeah, you were saying that he released a video instead.
Yeah.
But Trump denies knowing, everybody. Like, one day they're going to be like, oh, Melania 3 and I barely knew her. I mean,
She's just someone I picked from a catalog.
that's probably true. So,
supposedly.
but yeah, I mean, it's just insane. It's like everybody knows that you're full of shit. Everybody. It's like every time. I don't know him. Bullshit. You don't know him.
I mean, it's the same concept as when they were denying the conditions at the border and the
that's
people in
all.
cages and everything, and they're like,
If
"Oh
there's
yeah,
video of them just
they're,
utterly.
they're actually really happy. They're comfortable there,
Yeah.
and there's literal video of Pence standing next to these
Yeah.
like cages with people shoulder to shoulder in them, unable to like lay down and like yelling that they're not getting showers, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, they were happy to be there."
Right. Yeah, lying about what they're actually saying. in
It's
Spanish.
on video. We
And-
all have
but-
seen it.
And then there's still Trump supporters who deny it's happening. And it's like,
I
but your own
know.
people said it's happening? Yeah, but they didn't mean it like that. What do you mean they didn't mean it like that? Like, it.
no,
There's
it's
still
that-
video.
That's the point. They
It's
changed the
absolute insanity,
subject,
yeah.
and they're just
It's like this phone call. It's like, how much evidence do you need of things?
It's ridiculous. Oh, my God. And if you think, oh, that's the worst, now Trump is refusing to help Puerto Rico over the
Oh, yes.
earthquake thing unless they lower their minimum wage.
Because
what?
Yeah.
they're not allowed to pay them over $15 an hour if they're going to get $8 billion in subsidies or some shit. Yeah. Apparently, they're being paid too much. I don't understand.
Are
I
you
think Trump is being
serious?
paid too much.
By far. You know, the man who swore he wasn't going to take his salary.
Yeah, when he spends, what is it, like 1 out of every 4 days at a Trump property golfing.
Right. Making money off of his
Right.
presidency.
Yeah, which should be illegal.
Yeah, it really should. Especially considering he hasn't.
I thought it
Divi-
was illegal.
So did
Well,
I.
it'd be shady.
It technically is. You're
Probably
not
wouldn't be
supposed to.
illegal if he had divested himself of all corporate interests, as he's legally supposed to when
yeah,
becoming
but
a
he
president.
just gave it to
But-
his kids.
Yeah, which is still really his.
Right.
it couldn't be more illegal. Yeah, no,
He's
I know,
not allowed to
I know.
profit off of the presidency.
Right.
Well,
and
I mean,
he
everyone
is.
does, but that's supposed to be speech
Left and
engagements,
right.
not the crap he's pulling. I mean, it's insane.
Well, and they don't profit off of the presidency while they're president. They do these speaking engagements after they leave office.
Right.
I mean, what was that UN summit or something he wanted to have there, and everyone's like, no.
Well, and then they did that same
They should.
property
They should all
had
be
bed
like-
bugs before he proposed it.
Well, they should be like, oh yeah, we'll do that. We'll plan it there, and then just nobody shows up, and they have the summit
Oh my
somewhere
god, that'd be the
else.
greatest. Everybody's like, yeah, let's do that, and then they go in, France instead, and he's left there.
Germany.
Yeah, he's left there like,
Don't tell him.
hey guys, I thought we were getting together.
We had to discuss climate change, so
Right. And you're a dumbass.
There was an actual SNL skit that really closely mirrors that conversation.
Is that what it was?
Oh yeah, they were all acting like they're in the cafeteria in school.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't know about
Oh,
that.
it's funny.
So
That's hilarious.
in some
They'd probably get a lot more done without him there.
in lighter news, Clyde Tombaugh, the man who discovered Pluto, finally visited Pluto as his ashes were brought to the planet on the new Horizons spacecraft. That's kind of cool. If I discovered a planet, I would not want to go there. So
Well, I mean, he was ashes then.
I get it.
Still
But
cold, man.
hopefully
Still
I'll be
cold.
hopefully I'll be immortal by then.
I was just hoping he wasn't salty that it got demoted to a protoplanet
Yeah,
or a dwarf planet.
that might be upsetting. So most Americans think Trump's escalation of tension with Iran was driven by his upcoming impeachment trial.
Yeah.
Duh.
Duh. Yeah.
Yes. I
Did
mean,
a thing happen in the news?
yep. It's another Trump distraction. You're welcome.
I mean, that's just what it comes down to.
It wasn't even like a well concealed attempt to distract. It was just duh.
I mean,
I don't even think that's cynical. I think it's just accurate at this point. I mean,
Yeah,
Wh-
it's a fact.
what
It is
can
what
you
it
say
is.
to that? I mean,
He's
Yes.
he's an overgrown child.
is it possible it's a coincidence? Sure. Is
No.
it likely? Not at all.
yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's no escaping this shit at this point.
I
you
mean,
know?
it seems like it was
No,
a good call.
he's-
It's something that needed to be done. Did it need to be advertised? Was the timing suspect?
It needed to be done, and yet every time it's come up in the past, the presidents knew that it wouldn't be worth the collateral damage.
Well, not if you admit to it.
Well, which he did. In fact, I believe they said the Pentagon announced that it was us.
Oh, by the way, the guy's name was Lev Parnas.
Mm.
The guy who's like, yeah, I know Trump, and he's guilty of sin, and he also said Barr's in on it. He's in the inner circle, and Pence knows. Basically, everybody's involved. It's a big crime syndicate.
I
That
would love
sounds
to
accurate.
see. I would love to see Pence go down with him.
Oh my God, they all got to go down. Pence, I think Pence would like prison.
Pence blends into the background so much because he's quiet, but
he's-
man,
I
he's
don't-
evil.
I don't think he's out and out about that. Like, even to himself.
He doesn't know.
No, that dude's hardcore denial. Leave him alone.
Oh my God, he's
Anyway.
a prison bitch
That
all day.
That is besides the point. He's a bad person.
Well, yeah.
He was standing in a room full of people in cages and I'm okay with this. This
He-
is good.
He
This-
looks
this
like
is
the
the
kind
way
of
things
person that
should be.
kicks puppies for fun.
These people
But he-
aren't
at
white,
least he
so
wasn't
they
alone
belong
with
in
the woman.
cages.
Oh, I know. Well, Mama would be upset about that, wouldn't she?
He'd have to go to the special all-male prison.
But then again, Mama used to beat me with a garden hose and call me a retard.
What?
I don't remember that in the movie, but
Anyway,
okay.
But that's no, that's I don't know. I think that's who Pence is. So
Okay.
is that not okay? I don't know. Whatever.
Probably not in today's world, no. I don't think it is.
I'm just fed up, man. I mean, I don't know. These guys are all pieces of shit. And then a new fucking Republican crony pops up every fucking day that looks like a bloated pig stuffed into a blueberry suit. And I'm like, where do they find these fucking people? Every goddamn time there's some other piece of shit willing to come out and defend the awfulness that is the right wing in
All
this
right.
fucking country.
Well, let's talk about what it is to be a politician, okay? you're either some rich guy whose life's been glorious
Yeah, it's like
and feels entitled
99.99%.
and
but
better than everybody else, and why not rule the free world? Because, you know, you were born to it. Who else would do it? Of course you got this. Or you were the kid in school who was a complete freaking dork, who ran for student council. I mean, it's really the only two people in government.
See, that's the thing. We gotta stop this legacy bullshit, right? We gotta stop this whole thing where it's just because you're the family is in politics that you're in politics. No, fuck you. I'm sick of families in politics. Get them the fuck out.
There's
more.
no Joe Sixpack. There's
No more
normal
Bushes.
guy.
No more Kennedys. No more Clintons. Fucking stop. We need the young and
That's the most important thing, is get like fresh faces in there. And literally the only exception to my rule with that is Bernie. Like everybody else, when I go like voting for judges and stuff in the local elections, if I recognize their name, I vote them out.
well, that's the thing. These people are so jaded at this point, right? These judges who have been on the bench for forever and stuff like
Yep.
that. And most of them, they were jaded to begin with because they didn't know what it was like to be us. They don't know what it's like to be a working class person. They grew up
True.
with money, most
Right.
of them. You know, so
And
they
like
already
their
look
whole
down on us.
families are like brothers and cousins, and like there's 12 different judges with the same name in
Yeah.
every different division. and
Law
I'm
school
like,
is in
Yeah, they're
shape.
all fucking named Gallagher
I'm-
or Kelly or some shit
yep,
like that.
and
And it's
every
like,
time it's nope.
and these people have no idea. So they have this assumption that because you're poor, you're a bad person, and they drop the fucking hammer on people who just got dealt a raw hand in life.
Mhm.
Whereas people who were born into money, oh, they come from a good family. Fuck you. These people are born psychopaths. You know, I mean,
Well, not across the board, and not because they have money, but yeah, when you have your whole life
yes.
handed to you, it's
I
not
hate
a
to
good
say it.
character builder.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is that these wealthy kids who are sent to
They're spoiled.
who are sent to schools where they're isolated from the rest of us. They've never grown up around people without money and stuff like that. They are sociopaths. They have no idea how to empathize with somebody who doesn't have money. So they all have this inbred
They're
opinion.
the people who can't understand privilege.
Yeah, they have this inbred opinion that all of us are shit.
Or they're the overachiever do-gooder who means well but can't possibly relate to it a normal person because their whole life they've worked very hard to be who they are, and they can't even imagine being a blue-collar person.
So point being, stop fucking electing elites.
But that's the thing is that, like, who's left? Everyone else has got dick pics.
Well, the problem.
I mean,
yeah, I don't care. No, I really
No,
don't care.
eventually it
So
won't
there was
matter,
this-
but currently
There
I
was
think it
a
does.
what was she, a Congress or Senate senator from California, and a sex tape. Her boyfriend, her shit stain of a boyfriend, released their sex tape or whatever. So she like stepped out of she like stepped down basically.
Why?
Well, that's what I said. But it's, there's a sex tape floating around.
Because it almost doesn't matter, but it still does.
No, it
We're
shouldn't.
not
No,
quite
it
there
shouldn't.
yet.
It's not like it.
First
that
off-
is her own personal thing between her and her boyfriend. He was a fucking
Oh,
asshole
he should go
for
to jail.
releasing it.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one's arguing with you.
he should go to
I'm
jail.
saying
But-
is that what you're talking about
What you do
where
in your
we should
bedroom
be
is
and where
nobody's
we are.
fucking business.
Those are two different things. We are not there yet. We're getting there. We're getting to a place where no one gives a shit.
Revenge
But
videos.
we're not yet there.
Revenge videos should be absolutely criminal to the point that you go to jail for
I
it.
think they are in most states.
So yeah, if they aren't already. But that's my point. You made a sex tape. Own it. Who cares? You shouldn't have stepped down from office. I'd have backed you. So
Yeah.
It might even earn you some votes.
right. I mean, you've got congressmen and senators doing much worse things. Like
Oh,
sure.
so much worse things.
hell, I mean,
Some of that's even on tape.
if you voted that we go to war, it's worse in my opinion than having
I
a sex
agree.
tape. So, I mean, if
Yeah,
you
no.
if you voted to get rid
cares
of
what
the
you're-
pre-existing conditions clause,
If the things that are going on in your bedroom are between two consensual adults, do it. I don't care.
Right.
And I don't care what rumors come out, and I don't care what happens with it. Bottom line is, yeah, there's much worse things going on that nobody's ever
But
gonna
until
find out
we
about.
finally get enough older people who either age out, die, retire, whatever, and enough
Ouch.
Younger people in,
Yeah,
and
the problem
we get
is
past
oh, you mean in Congress and Senate specifically?
we get post-shame.
Yeah.
We get to a post-shame place.
that's
we,
But that's the thing is those older generations, they need to get the fuck out of those positions.
It will happen, but it's going to take time.
Oh my
yeah, but
God,
they're taking the planet with them. They're
Yeah, I
killing
know.
our planet.
because they don't
There's
believe in
going-
things that are existential facts.
No, they don't
there's-
care.
There's going to be
They don't
nothing
care.
left when they're done. They're literally using up every
Yeah.
ounce of anything that's left on this
How do you
planet,
not?
and they're just going to kill it with them because fuck everybody else.
Yep.
I mean, so many of these people have kids and grandkids and stuff like that, and you are dooming them to
And they're selfish
to
pricks.
And they
slow
literally
deaths,
don't
and it's just like, are
care.
you serious? Like, how are you that
If
self-absorbed?
they cared, they'd have better candy than Werther's.
I like Werther's. Fuck you.
Yeah, I
It's
like
a s-
Werther's too.
It's those stupid lemon ones that earn you a punch in the face.
Lemon
You
one?
know, oh yeah, they're the cheap fucking lemon ones in this clear little wrapper and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah,
They
it's
go
the
to-
orange and black wax
and then
ones in Halloween.
When they've
Oh,
sat there long enough, they almost look like a Werther's.
What is that
Orange
about?
and black.
Oh, you got to know about the wax paper. Like, what? Where did you even get these? What store sells this?
Oh man. Or you ever get the saltwater taffy that's been in the bowl so long it's like chewing your own wired up jaw, like.
Yeah, you got like a month to eat them max.
Yeah, no, they're like so hard at this point, like you can't get your teeth apart anymore.
Ah. Oh yeah, no, thank you.
I legit got my jaw stuck together once on a Jolly Rancher. Like it got to the bottom, and I like went to bite it, only it didn't break. And I was like, "Oh, well, my jaw's wired shut now."
This is my life now.
Yeah.
But this is my point: is that we're not going to have people represent us because the only people who are going to do it are truly selfless people who aren't at all like you and don't understand you, or truly maniacally evil, selfish pricks.
It's
That's
mostly
it.
those.
Okay? Everybody else is either busy, got better things to do, or afraid as hell of having a background check.
Well, first off, we got to
I'm
get the
not
money
afraid
out of
of a
politics
background check.
altogether. Kill Citizens United. Make it to where that the news channels again or whatever have to give so much time to every candidate. Blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're down to 6.
No more.
Anybody saw the debates?
We should be at 3, and even then, I no longer respect one of them. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. So, but we've got too many people involved, and that's because there's too much fucking money in this. We gotta stop. No more money in politics.
I completely
I mean,
agree.
these guys are
In the
making money off of
campaigns,
losing
in
a
the-
campaign.
Yeah, in the campaigns, once they're elected, there should be no
Did you know that?
money.
It's big business running for office. You make money off of running.
You're not supposed to, but there is a lot of weird.
You know how much money Trump kept off of off of
I know.
winning, but yeah,
Well, and a painting
and
that.
siphoned it to his own business. That was
Right, and then on top of that, there was also that court case where he got fined. What was it, $2 million for
Yeah.
the charity issue?
well now.
For scamming a
I guess
charity or
his
whatever?
kids have been roped into that too. So now they individually are being called out on that stuff. So
And yet here he is, still a president, and we're all like, "This is fine. This is just
this
how
is
America
who we are
is."
now. Yeah, I mean that's.
We're a laughing stock. We're an
I
embarrassment.
want to know what that painting looks like under black light. I mean, it's velvet, right?
What?
You didn't hear about the giant painting he had made under yeah.
No.
I can't remember if it was from the charity or the election funds, but yeah. Oh. All right, neither here nor there. So nobody watched the debates?
I did not know. I don't give
No,
a fuck.
didn't.
Okay.
Look,
I
I'm
had
gonna
a
vote.
Bottom line is, I'm
I
gonna
took
vote
me
for
40
whoever
minutes
it
to find it
is.
on YouTube.
I'm gonna vote for whoever
Yeah, whoever
is
whoever
against
gets
Trump,
it.
no matter what. I know who I prefer. I've been beat up on Twitter for that, for my thoughts on who should win.
Are we going to talk about that?
But no.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I mean, there was a lot of shitty stuff going on, and people are specifically trying to tear holes in the Democrats right now by sowing division, and people are falling for it.
Oh, I have no interest in it. Honestly, I'd be happy with any one of the candidates. There are some I like more than others, some I mildly dislike, but none of them are bad candidates. And certainly wouldn't be bad presidents, I don't think. And any one of them, I honestly think that should they win, the other 5 would definitely line up to get behind.
I will specifically say I don't want Biden. I'll vote for him if he's what we get, but I specifically do not want Biden.
I don't know. He didn't sound that bad. He stumbled a little.
He's what Republicans should be.
Yeah, I agree. He's,
Even that is better than the options we have.
No, I agree.
He's the conservative candidate.
But yeah, he's a
that we can
conservative.
live
He's not a
with.
liberal. Like, why are you in this party?
Honestly, a lot of them sound that
I'd
way,
rather-
especially when they're talking about single payer option and like, well, we got to get there in steps. A lot of them,
I don't see why. It's going to save us a fortune.
right? And most of them are of the opinion that you can't just pass one thing and get there. You got to do this in stages. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, because you have to
'Cause a
pander
few
to the
people would be out
Republicans to
jobs.
get it passed.
I'm
You
sorry.
just hire them?
I was gonna say it's like if we're really doing this just to keep insurance companies in business, that's some bullshit.
Well, most of the insurance companies themselves are scams. No, I'm not saying their product necessarily is completely. I mean, they're making a fortune off you regardless. But
Right, but I mean, like, how many jobs are we really talking about? How many of those are really domestic?
well, I mean, I think if we hire off the workers and say fuck you to the CEOs and corporate fat cats,
We can't find other things for them to
those
do.
guys can live off of their what they bilked us out of. I mean, I don't care about what they think. So we can do single payer. It's
So
going to
yeah,
save us.
I was a little
fortune.
disappointed in a few of them and how soft they want to go about being progressive.
They're trying to get those middle ground votes.
and
Well,
screw that.
The problem is some of these guys.
Time has passed.
Some of our own party thinks that like Trump, sadly enough, or at least like a lot of right wingers think that you can't do all these great things because it's socialism, and we still hate socialism even though we're Democrats. And, socialism's this big
It's a
fucking
bad word.
Yeah, it's a bad word, and in the end, we're not even asking for socialism. Nobody is saying specifically socialism.
Right.
But you're told it's socialism because it's taking care of people, when really what we're asking for is our tax dollars to be spent on us
Right.
Right.
instead of spent propping up the world's biggest military, bar none.
Not only that, but then funneling money to corporations and tax breaks and everything.
Yep,
Because
that's where I was going next.
yeah,
A lot of them did.
Our-
We're talking about taking a few percentage off of every, all the higher end businesses, and especially ones that aren't paying taxes, and using that to on various programs. And they're like, well, where's the money going to come from? Where's the college? Where's the medical?
there's plenty of places the
And-
money can come
And
from.
it's like, well, duh.
When
yeah.
these huge corporations are paying zero in taxes, that means the taxpayers are funding these.
We
fucking
need a
corporations.
simplified
Yeah, no, that's absolutely
tax
true.
code, because the complicated tax code works for those who can get their, these lawyers and the CPAs and everybody else to work for them.
That's what. Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
think we need a singular tax, and I think it needs to be
And-
based off of income, and that applies to corporations too.
Corporations that have a CEO making a shit ton of money while their employees are on welfare, though they need to be taxed heavier.
Well,
Sure,
and
because they're
those,
abusing the government. They're subsidized
Exactly.
welfare. Yeah.
We need to stop making that profitable to them.
right. Yeah, and we need to really take a better look at what cost of living means, because you can't live off of what our minimum wage is, and you should be able to live off of it. I mean, period.
Obviously, that's
You
the whole
know, I
concept
mean,
of minimum wage.
Right. So if you can't live off of it, these people aren't contributing
Well,
to
we
the
have to
economy.
When-
we have to
when
determine
your
what is
company-
minimum. What is the quality of life we want them to have? How much do we want to have them left over after they're done feeding their kids,
They-
clothing them?
They need to be able to
taking care of the
survive without having
utilities?
3 jobs.
I was gonna say, you should be able to save a little bit of money on
And
top
exactly,
of that.
Yeah.
or maybe just have, and I know this is scandalous to a lot of people, the smallest percentage for entertainment, so they don't want to blow their brains out.
Right.
Is that too much to ask?
The
Right.
pursuit
A
of
small
happiness,
percentage
the
to
pursuit
go
of
to see a
happiness
movie
is dead.
once
It's
every
long dead.
twice a year.
Meanwhile, by the way, Finland just eliminated homelessness. There's
Which
no
is
such thing as
amazing.
homelessness in Finland anymore.
Yeah, obviously we have shit to learn
Because they probably opened a couple apartment buildings. The end.
Right.
I mean,
And
it's
by
so
the way,
easy.
The bottom line is that if your company is profiting off of the fact that you are not paying your employees a livable wage, then you can't afford to be in business.
if your employees
Bottom
need welfare,
line-
your company is on welfare. Period.
Exactly. You're a welfare company. If you can't afford to pay employees a living wage, then your company is operating in a manner that is not it doesn't, subsist.
Right.
It doesn't. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for here.
It's not successful.
Yeah, you don't have a sustainable business.
Sustainable. Thank you. It's not. Your company's in the shitter,
Right.
and it doesn't deserve to exist.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, the economic Darwinism that would, that would appeal to your Republican sensibilities.
Yeah,
when
if
you're,
that's
and
the
then
only
you'll turn around
reason-
and be like, "Well, I only have 4 employees, so why should I have to pay this?"
That's my point. So Trump is saying
But that's
that.
not the only issue, because aren't a shit ton of Amazon employees on welfare?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that is
Amazon
ridiculous.
profits like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
There is no excuse for that.
I agree. Now, I am and I always was a fiscally responsible Democrat. Well, I used to be conservative. I believe in fiscal responsibility, and I want to do away with welfare. I don't want to see welfare exist anymore, or only in for
like cases of like disability or something.
yeah, disability stuff like that, or I do think that there should be a good unemployment system. But my answer to that is that no company should be allowed to pay so little that
that you still have to be on
right.
welfare.
So if you're unemployed,
Mm-hmm.
you go through unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
If you're disabled, you go through disability.
Mm-hmm.
But welfare doesn't exist because we pay you enough to live. That's
Right.
just how it should work. So we stop footing the bill for something corporations should be covering. It's that simple.
I mean, I was listening to a local radio guy, and I don't know if it's accurate or not, but he was playing with some calculations, and he was saying that supposedly Jeff Bezos makes so much money that he's making the equivalent of $20,000 a day since January 1st, AD 0 to present. Like if you paid him every single day 20 grand,
Oh, yeah.
that's what he's earning. And it's like, wow. You got to have some spare
It's-
cash to do some other things.
It's obscene, yeah. Like pay your employees better, maybe? Yeah.
Or build an entire planet out of metal. I don't know. I mean, you could do almost anything with that amount of money. That's insane.
Yeah.
I can't even conceive of that.
Yeah. How much do you need? Do you really still
That's
need?
the thing I really don't
Do you
understand.
still need
What
to
are you
keep
doing
amassing?
with that money?
I
what
mean,
are you doing with
Fucking
it?
people.
First, you build
No, at some point
a
your money's just
300
sitting there.
foot
It is
statue
just sitting there, yes.
out of pure adamantium to your glory. But after that, then what? A theme park? I mean, eventually, like, I don't know what you
It's
do. I
not.
don't know
Their
what you
money
do.
It's a
sits
pathological
there
level of greed.
collecting more money, doing absolutely nothing. Meanwhile, people are literally dying all around them because they can't afford health care.
Well, I mean, he's got his own SpaceX. I forget what they
Meanwhile,
call his.
These same
Virgin Galactic or
corporations,
some. What was it?
Horizon, I don't know.
these same corporations that have all this greed, that they have all this money funneling to them while their employees are on welfare. Crap, I lost my train of thought because you guys
I don't
went
know.
off in a different direction.
I mean, I like
the
Amazon as a
bottom line is-
company, but Jesus Christ, how much money? Yeah, no, I mean,
No,
it's ridiculous.
That was my point. Was like, bottom line is their employees are on welfare while this money comes to them, and these are the same people who are blocking, Medicare for all and all
Well-
of these concepts that would help people who don't have as much money.
And I want to be clear, $15 an hour is not a good minimum wage. That is not
Yeah, you're not.
sustainable.
I'm
not,
in the money.
Yeah, no.
You know, it's not quite all that.
Yeah, you can't pay all your bills on $15 an hour. Realistically, it's around $22 an hour is a proper minimum wage. And had it been
Well, that was the living wage like 2 years ago when that article came out, and every year that number changes.
yeah,
It goes
yeah.
up.
So it's up and up and up. But that's the thing. Had it been keeping pace, there's a graph that shows how all of our wages have stagnated, while the top companies they're just skyrocketing.
And the
in
price of
earnings.
everything, gas, food,
Yeah, it's way up.
healthcare, everything, it just keeps
So technically, you're being robbed by inflation.
right.
Yeah, and the worst thing is that like they'll adjust for some minor inconvenience, like a hurricane here or a thing in there, and the price will go up, and it never goes back down.
No.
Like you'll see gas fluctuate, but it never returns back.
Right, and the companies you're working for are profiting more and more and more with inflation. Meanwhile, they're paying you the same amount of money.
Right.
I
yeah.
mean, I remember fast
So
food going
that's
$5,
only-
$6, then it was suddenly $8. It's never
Oh.
gone back down.
I
That's
remember
just
when a
widening
Big
their
Mac was like
profit
$2.50,
margin
and now it's what,
profit
almost
margin.
$6?
I don't know. Two
Oh, yeah,
people
it's
was like
expensive.
$18 last time.
That was my thing. Was like McDonald's now is like the same price as going to like Panera or Chipotle.
Oh, I know.
Right,
I know.
right.
There's
And,
no
like,
point in going
It's like
there
I'll
anymore.
Yeah.
go somewhere that's gonna kill me less fast, where I
Right.
can sit down
Yeah.
and not feel gross.
Oh yeah. I went to Five Guys and spent $22 for 2 people. That's ridiculous.
Holy Jesus!
I've never been there.
It's just one sandwich each and a large fry to share.
That what?
That was it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Better be some
That's
damn
insane.
good burger.
That's my point. Yeah. I mean, so
Holy
the companies
shit.
are making a fortune while we're getting fucked. Because I'm guaranteeing none of their employees are making $15 an hour. You know,
Oh, yeah,
maybe the
no.
manager, maybe,
Yeah.
and there's no guarantee of that. I mean, I know all kinds of people who are management for their companies, and
They
they're not
were
even making
recently-
$30,000 a year. And it's like, You can't live off of $30,000 a year
Right.
anymore. There was a time where I thought $30,000 a year was a decent living. I mean, of course, I was a teenager.
Yeah, that was
You
back
know,
in the day.
There was just something in the news, and I think it was Burger King. It was somebody who $100,000 just for managing one single store location.
Not around here, it isn't. I know what it is around here.
And I was like, can you imagine those employees knowing that manager who's yelling at them all day long and knowing what he makes?
yeah. No, it was.
I don't know how you get to your car.
I just saw an ad, and I don't work in the field, but I saw an ad while I was looking through my my job boards and stuff like that, and they were offering $42,000 a year to manage a Burger King. which
Okay,
is
well, maybe it was a
still
different fast
nowhere
food
near
place,
enough.
but yeah, I was surprised it was that high.
So,
Um,
yes.
Ohio's minimum wage is $8.55 an hour. Is that still correct?
That sounds correct. Yeah.
That's
That's awful.
and companies find ways to weasel out of things like abusing.
Oh, and that's up since January 1st.
Really?
Is that right?
Well, it was $8.50 before. I think it only went up 5 cents.
Oh, why even bother?
And the federal minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. That's
Right.
obscene.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
well,
and
that's your whole state rights crap.
well, and you know,
Ohio's one of the lowest minimum wages. I think Ohio and Florida.
Florida doesn't surprise me at all. They are the most backwards fucking place.
Yeah.
It's rather libertarian with a no state tax and all
It's
that.
Ohio and some southern state. I don't know which one it is, but I think it's Florida.
But yeah, it's ridiculous. And they bitch about impoverished neighborhoods and crime rates and stuff. Crime happens because of poverty. Poverty happens because of corporate greed. Period.
When you're paying your employees $8 an hour, they can't afford to do anything with their neighborhood. They can't afford
Well, think about
to fix their car.
Okay, so you're talking about like the broken window syndrome.
even with 2 full-time jobs at minimum wage, you can't take care of yourself.
No, I make significantly more than that, and I can barely afford to fix my car when
Right.
something goes wrong.
Right?
So, yeah, no, you can't expect them to do shit with that.
I'm extremely good with my money and still worry, like all the time.
And the thing is that it makes me just kind of shake my head when people are so adamant, and people around here for sure are so adamant that the people flipping their burger should not be making $15 an hour because I only make blah 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 blah.
And I
Which
get
is
that.
ridiculous. You should be making more. They
Right.
shouldn't be making less. You should be making more.
Right.
We're
And
all
that's
getting
my thing,
fucked.
is that are you so bitter that
Yes.
because you think that you don't make enough money, you want that person to not be able
Yes.
to live?
Lynch your boss.
And let me explain
Right.
that. Let me explain that one. Okay, so someone goes to school, they get a degree, they work their way up in a company, they go up a few ranks, and they've earned a certain income. They've got a certain prestige and a status and a certain level of responsibility, and they got a title, and they make X amount of money. And as soon as they hear that somebody on an entry level can make even half of what they're making, okay, and it's like, well, they didn't earn that. I had to work my ass off to get that. Now, I hear what you're saying, but in their mind, they're like, all these years I've only made this, and they're just going to jump in and make that. I understand that argument. But the
It's a
fact is,
different
But it's
world.
short-sighted and
but
stupid.
we've all been screwed by the system, and we're going to all have to take in the ass and have a reboot if we're going to have any chance of having a
So,
democracy that's worth a shit.
I encourage all of you to share with each other what your wages are. Now, I realize that some of you may work for companies that specifically have that against the rules, but it's actually against the law
Yeah,
for them to have that rule.
they can't well, they can say whatever they want, but they can't enforce anything.
Right, that you can't
It's
be fired
illegal.
for it. So,
Yeah.
right. So have a nice day at the bar with your coworkers and discuss your wages.
And you know why
And
they don't want you
then-
to? You know why there's a shame associated with it?
Form a union.
Because that's exactly what it leads to. It leads to collective bargaining. When you know when somebody else is making, you know who's being screwed.
We need a people's union. We need a union of all the people of America. We need to get together, and we need to rise up against the capitalists.
Right, and determine that this profession should be making this level of money. You know, that kind of thing. Like,
And that nobody should be working for slave wages.
right, exactly. And that was one of the comparisons that I had seen about in the argument against raising minimum wage was, well, EMT make like, what is it like?
And that's
It's
the
like
thing.
They make
50.
shit. They make
It's like
shit.
$15 to $17
Not
an hour.
even. Not even.
And they're like, well, if they're like minimum wage shouldn't be making that much. And like, first of all, if you're not even making $15 an hour, your wage is going to go up as well. Second of all, why
Maybe.
the fuck are we paying EMTs $15 an
Well,
hour?
and once again,
There's no guarantee.
just
but you're
raising
right.
everybody's
It should all go up.
just
It
raising
should.
everybody's wages isn't going to fix anything
No.
because they're just going to inflate us out. What you need to do is raise the wages and fix it to inflation.
Yes.
So when prices go up, wages automatically climb with it.
Well, that's kind of hard to do when they've basically done away with all unions.
Well, that's why we need.
No, it has to be a law. It has to be a federal
we
law.
need a people's union across the country. We
Yeah,
need
'cause-
all the working class to band together under a single banner. And this is the reason I like this idea. And I didn't come up with it; somebody else did. But I liked the idea because we can do collective striking. For instance, say a company like McDonald's is screwing its employees and refusing to pay them properly. Not only do the employees strike, the customers strike, the truckers strike, everybody strikes and refuses to shop at McDonald's till they either go out of business or actually meet the demands. It has way more impact than just a normal singular focus union. And that's why we should do it. So, I don't know. That's my proposal.
I
So-
mean, it sounds pretty, but
Yeah, especially
We'll see
coming
if it
from a work
happens.
at will state.
Well, hey guys, comment on our show, follow us, subscribe, tell a friend. Let me know what you think of this idea. Hey, maybe we can get it going. Maybe somebody's already started it.
yeah.
So, let me know what's up. We'll see you next time.